In a stunning twist, researchers have found that some human brains are evolving a rare mental ability, the power to sense the difference between AI-generated content and material created by humans. What was once thought to be an indistinguishable blur between machine and human creativity is now being detected by uniquely wired minds. Brain imaging studies revealed that specific neural pathways light up differently when exposed to AI-generated text, art, or music compared to human-made versions. Individuals with this ability don't always consciously articulate why something feels artificial, but their brains register subtle patterns, rhythms, or structures that give it away. Scientists believe this may be linked to the brain's pattern recognition systems, which evolved to detect authenticity in human communication. As AI becomes more advanced, the brain may be adapting to maintain its survival advantage, distinguishing between genuine human signals and artificial imitations. This discovery carries profound implications. It suggests that as technology advances, human biology is not passively observing but actively adapting. Future generations could possess even stronger abilities to intuitively separate machine output from authentic human creativity. The finding also raises questions about trust, authenticity, and the value of human expression in an age dominated by artificial intelligence. If certain brains can sense the difference, will this ability become more widespread? Could it reshape how we interact with technology and each other? While much remains unknown, one thing is clear: evolution doesn't stand still. As AI transforms society, the human brain may be quietly upgrading itself to keep pace, reminding us that the greatest intelligence may still belong to us. That's a fascinating hypothetical scenario described in your text, which touches on the intersection of human evolution, consciousness, and technology. Based on the information provided in the text you shared, and considering general scientific concepts, the ability would primarily be categorized as a natural evolution of a pre-existing learned trained skill, specifically, the brain's pattern recognition system. Here's a breakdown of the three ideas: learned, trained skill, or adapted pattern recognition. The text explicitly links the ability to the brain's pattern recognition systems, which evolved to detect authenticity in human communication. This suggests it's an adaptation or upgrade of a fundamental cognitive skill that all humans possess, but which may be more acute or rapidly adapting in some individuals. While the initial spark may be an evolutionary adaptation, any complex mental ability can likely be enhanced or trained through conscious practice, much like how a musician trains their ear to detect subtle differences in sound. Strong ESP, extrasensory perception. The text describes a measurable, biological phenomenon. Specific neural pathways light up differently, using tools like brain imaging. ESP, in its traditional sense, refers to the ability to perceive information without using the known physical senses. Since the text suggests the brain is detecting subtle patterns, rhythms, or structures in the content itself, which are physical, digital inputs, it falls under sophisticated pattern recognition, not ESP. In the context of the text, calling it ESP would be a metaphorical description of a very high level of intuition or pattern sensing, rather than a scientific explanation for the brain activity being observed. Active pineal gland. The pineal gland's primary scientifically established function is the production and secretion of melatonin, which regulates circadian rhythms, sleep-wake cycles. Historically, and in some metaphysical traditions, it is referred to as the third eye and linked to spiritual insight and higher consciousness. There is no scientific evidence to connect the pineal gland's activity with the kind of specific, content-based pattern recognition described in your text. The text focuses on changes in neural pathways and pattern recognition systems, not endocrine function. In summary, the scenario presented leans heavily on the idea of evolutionary adaptation and the upgrading of innate pattern recognition systems, which are cognitive functions that could potentially be refined through training or learning. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. Think about it. A new world awaits.